This video is for pages 5 and 6. 5 and 6, factors and primes. So if we could take one number and divide it by another number with no remainder, goes in evenly. We say the first number is divisible by the other number. Notice that's I, 3 I's. There's no A in divisible. For example, 20 is divisible by, well, lots of answers go here, but 4 will fit. If a number is divisible by another number, it is a multiple of that number. So just getting some terminology down. 20 is a multiple of, 20 is divisible by 4, so 20 is a multiple of 4. And there are some cool tests that tell you if a number is divisible by something else without you having to do the actual division. Let's take a look at these. Some of them are pretty straightforward. Some of these are a little trickier. For 2, number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. It's a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So 426. The only work that I require that you show is show me, okay, I know 6 is even. 6 is even. So yes, 426 is divisible by 2. I like to write that as 2 goes into 426. That's just a vertical line. Make it a little bigger than a 1 so that it doesn't look like a 1. 2 divides evenly into 426. 2 is a factor of 426. For 3, we want the sum of the digits in the number, all the little pieces, to be divisible by 3. So 721, let's check. 7 plus 2 plus 1 is 10. 3 does not divide into 10. There's that vertical line with a slash through it. So 3 does not divide into 721. I'm leaving 1273 and 6042 for you to think about. Feel free to pause the video and do those as we go, or to save them for later. Number 4, the last 2 digits form a number that's divisible by 4. So even we only cared about the last digit. For 4, we need the last 2 digits. We can also say the number can be divided by 2 twice. And let's just notice that if it's odd, it's definitely not divisible by 4. Probably shouldn't abbreviate like that. That's how I tend to write my notes, my not symbols. Okay, so an odd number is definitely not divisible by 4. 135, that's odd. Odd, so no. Or 4 does not divide evenly into 35. So 4 does not divide evenly into 135. We look at the last 2 digits. 5. Last digit of the number is either it's either a 0 or a 5. 685, I look at the last digit and say, 5 is 0 or 5. 5 is a 5. So yes, 5 divides evenly into 685. 5 is a factor of 685. Where 685 is a multiple of 5. We can take a look at 4932. We're now going on to page 6. And the rule for 6s and 7s is a little trickier than some of the other rules. That's okay. For 6, it's actually basically 2 rules. It has to be divisible by 2 and by 3. So we just check both rules. If they both fit, then the number is divisible by 6. It's a multiple of 6. And if not, then it's not. So 324, I'm going to notice that 4 is even. So 2 divides 324. 3 plus 2 plus 4 is 9. And 3 divides 9. So 3 divides 324. Since it passes both tests, yes, 6 divides evenly into 324. As soon as it fails one test, we can just say, no, it doesn't work. So if it's not even, maybe for the next one, we can throw it out on the first step. We don't need to, I don't care if 411 is divisible by 3, the 2 doesn't work, so 6 doesn't work. A common mistake is thinking that this is the same as the rule for 3 and that we just have to check and make sure 6 goes into it. That's not the case. Notice that the number 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6, but 6 does not go evenly into 15. So that trick will not work, that rule does not work. We have to say that it's divisible by 2 and it's divisible by 3. The rule for 7 is probably the trickiest one. So it'll take a little bit of practice. What we're going to do is we're going to split a number into 2 parts. The ones digit and the rest. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay, so that is what we're doing, but I'm actually going to write it a little bit differently. I'm going to write it as the first part. So I'm kind of flipping how I had it written. And the last digit, or ones digit. So 523, let's do that. We'll split it into the first part and the last digit. The first part could be 1 number, could be 2 numbers, could be 15 numbers, although I wouldn't want to do that one. But we could. We're going to double the ones digit. 3 times 2 equals 6. And subtract that from the rest. Subtract that from the front part. 52 minus 6 is 46. If the result, that 46, is divisible by 7, so is the original number, so is 523. Since 7 does not divide 46, 7 also does not divide 523. 7,497, I'll leave for you to do on your own, but I'll do a 4-digit example just so that you can see it. I'll just do that in the margin. So let's look at 2589. 7 go into that. I don't even know. Let's find out. Split off the 9 and double it. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract that 18 from 258. I get 240. This is a good example to do because we can see that sometimes we subtract 0. That's okay. 0 times 2 equals 0. 24 minus 0 is 24. I could continue the process, but I know that 24 is not a multiple of 7. So I'm going to end it there. Say 7 does not divide 24. So 7 does not divide 2,589. Notice that those arguments are important. You can't just say no. We need to see your work, and we need to see 7 does not go into 24, so 7 does not go into 2589. And you can write it out if you like. I just like using those abbreviations or those symbols. If the result is divisible by 7, so is the original. 8 is similar to 2 and 4, but now we require the last 3 digits to form a number that's divisible by 8. And again, if it's odd, there's no way. It will not be divisible by 8. So 4,120, I just look at those last 3 digits. I ask myself, does 8 go into 120? Well, it's not odd, so I can't throw it out right away. Let's think about it, though. 8 into 120. We've got two main ways to do this. One of them is to say, well, let's just do 8 into 120. Now, we're doing long division, but at least we didn't have to worry about that 4. And if we had a much longer number and only took the last 3, we've got even better savings. 8 goes into 12 once. 8 goes into 45 times, evenly, no remainder. So yes, 8 goes into 120. So 8 goes into 4,120. And notice that we could also divide by 2 3 times, just like we divided by 2 twice for 4s. 120 divided by 2 is 60, divided by 2 is 30, divided by 2 is 15. Again, we get that 15, which is a whole number, so we know this is a multiple of 8. We should have our yes, this is a multiple of 7. Okay, 9 is similar to 3. The sum of the digits just has to be divisible by 9 instead of 3. And notice that again, if 3 doesn't work, there's no way 9 can work. 279, we'll do 2 plus 7 plus 9, we get 18. 9 goes into 18 evenly, or we could even keep adding. 1 plus 8 gives us 9, and 9 goes into 9. Either way, we're going to get that 9 goes into something, so 9 goes into 279. And for 10, last digit needs to be a 0. Okay, that is pages 5 and 6.